across more than half the country, leaving millions dealing with dangerously low temperatures and life-threatening power outages. Good evening. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Christine Devine. Marla Tejas has the night off. This megastorm isn't just creating chaos for residents across the nation. It's also creating a ton of travel turbulence at our airports. So we have team coverage from our weather center and on the ground. Meteorologist Star Harvey's monitoring the severe winter weather across the nation right now. We begin, though, with Ed Lascos live from LAX, tracking a lot of canceled and delayed flights. Ed.
Oh, you are so right about that, Christine. Yet another day, another night of a nightmare for a lot of travelers here at LAX, talking about the cancellations, the delays, all because of that major winter storm. Joe, if you please take us into the story, upper level Terminal 7. It is busy here this hour, but I'll tell you, nowhere near as busy when you go through all the terminals around the Horseshoe. The longest lines are the customer service lines, the agent service lines. No doubt the passengers trying to rebook, get on other flights because of the mess of the backlog of cancellations and delays. Let's get to it. To the video we go, checking the big board here, Terminal 7. Those yellow flag flights, Washington, Boston, that's part of the hundreds of cancellations and delays that the folks here are dealing with at LAX, coming in with their connecting flights. And you talk to some of the delays, some of the folks who did make it here said they left. One man saying he left from Chicago early this morning, thought he was going to be okay, but he gets to the gate, and that was a story we heard over and over again. And suddenly at the gate, the delays started to pile up. An hour delay, that led to 2 hours. Suddenly it was 3 hours, 4 hours, and on it went. So a very trying day for a lot of folks here, all because of that massive winter storm that has a lot of the major airports reeling, scrambling just to try to get some of their flights off the ground. They're talking about the Northeast, places like Boston, New York's LaGuardia, buried under more than a foot of snow. To the south, some of the major hubs there, thinking about Dallas and Fort Worth. It's an ice storm to the south. Ran into a flight that arrived just a little while ago coming in from Austin. Yeah, they got here to LAX, but it was a long day of flying with delays. Listen.
Yes, we were delayed by 2 hours, so we missed our connection here. We're going on the way to Palm Springs.
But going out there was mostly ice or down in Texas?
Ice and snow.
So one fellow said it was almost like a nightmare traveling today.
It is not a good day to travel, at least not from Texas.
Right, just to have
or
the
probably
delays.
not from D.C. or New York.
My first flight was delayed by 6 hours. Then I hopped on the second flight, and that was for United, and that was also delayed by an hour and a half. Getting here, so
it sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, definitely was. They didn't tell us until we were already at our gate, and then they kept pushing it back like every 20 minutes. Like, oh, 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours. And
a friend of mine was coming from Philly, got delayed twice, sat at the airport, it got canceled. They rescheduled it, sat for another 4 hours, and then they canceled that. So he's not here.
My goodness, huh?
Right, it's been crazy for sure. The weather on the East Coast has definitely been crazy.
Crazy cold, I'll tell you. Now you're looking live. Some of the passengers who did make it here waiting for their shuttle buses. Still a lot more flights when you look at that big board. Still facing delays right through the evening. More expected again as we start off tomorrow. No wonder the U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy out tonight saying with this massive storm and everything frozen into place, they may not get back online, back onto the system till maybe Wednesday at the earliest. So, Christine, that's how devastating this storm is for a major part of the country, especially those areas that have the connections, which has always been the big major hubs. They get hit, and the backlog, it's like a domino effect, and on, hour by hour it spreads.
So, Ed, I'm guessing the advice is check with your airline, check online, check for notices.
Yeah, that's what a lot of folks have been doing, especially we're running into folks here who finally made it to LAX with their delays, but it's difficult to find folks you would think who are arriving here facing delays because they've been doing just what you're suggesting and being told to do, really, Christine, to check the websites, check with their carrier to make sure they check and they find out, there's going to be a delay, so it's no sense coming, or in some cases the flight is just outright canceled.
We'll let this pass soon because I'm flying next week. All right, Ed, thanks so much. We take a live look right now at LAX from a distance. You can see a lot of cars there. Here's meteorologist Star Harvey tracking that weather across the nation right now. Star?
Yeah, Christine, things are looking a lot better, especially because I was in the weekend tracking our conditions, and the picture here of our satellite and radar in the last 24 hours has made a lot of improvement. Now, although we do not see all of that precipitation, wintry mix tracking across not just the central portions of the nation, but also down to the south, we are still left with some of that wintry weather out towards the northeast, the far northeast. So moving across areas like Boston and up into Maine as well. Now here on the home front, we have gotten through the weekend and rolled into the start of our week with gorgeous conditions. In fact, we had a nice little warm up today. In terms of sky conditions, we are expecting to have those mostly clear conditions for some of us. Different story up to the north. We will continue to see that dense fog advisory in place. It is expected to be effective until tomorrow morning. You'll see Bakersfield included in this if you're traveling up that I-5 corridor, but also across central California. We do continue with that Thule fog and that radiational fog. So if you have family and friends out there, that's what's happening across their neck of the woods. At LAX, 62 degrees out there. We saw those terminals getting really busy. Conditions not too bad. 58 degrees out in Chino, 48 in San Bernardino. Over into Porter Ranch, temperatures at 59 degrees. We did have our winds reigniting today. A nice little breezy Santa Ana event. However, sustained winds locally moving at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, our temperatures will dip down near their averages for our lows. We're talking a lot more 40s, mid to upper 40s across the area. I'll be back with a look at how the rest of our work week is unfolding here. For now, Christine, back to you.
The man seen leading sweeping immigration raids in major cities here in LA, Chicago, and recently Minneapolis has reportedly been demoted from his position with the Border Patrol. The publication The Atlantic is reporting Bovino was removed from his commander-at-large position and will return to his previous role with the agency in El Centro, California, which is near the U.S.-Mexico border. The Atlantic also reports Bovino will retire soon. This news comes 2 days after ICE agents shot and killed Alex Pretty in Minneapolis. Following that fatal shooting in Minneapolis, there is increased pressure on the Trump administration to pull immigration enforcement, and there could be signs the president is open to de-escalation. Fox's Garrett Tenney has more from Minneapolis.
Escalating protests in Minneapolis have prompted President Trump to send border czar Tom Homan to oversee ICE operations. This is frustration with DHS leadership mounts in the wake of the killings of Renee Good and Alex Pretty, specifically the claim by some Trump administration officials that Pretty, a 37-year-old nurse at the VA, was attacking Border Patrol agents when he was shot, despite videos calling those claims into question.
This incident remains under investigation, and nobody here at the White House, including the President of the United States, wants to see Americans hurt or killed and losing their lives.
Thank goodness we had video from constitutional observers who were there so bravely. But I think many Republicans are realizing what we've always known in Minnesota. Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've picked the wrong city.
On Monday, President Trump spoke with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the president on Truth Social, calling it a very good call, adding, quote, "We actually seem to be on a similar wavelength," and the Democrat governor calling it productive. His office releasing a statement reading in part, quote, "The president also agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota and working with the state in a more coordinated fashion on immigration enforcement regarding violent criminals."
The president spoke about this with Governor Walz and said he would have a discussion about it. He did not make a commitment.
A federal hearing today to block the immigration enforcement surge in Minnesota ended without a ruling, but the judge is expected to issue a written order on the case, though no timeline was given for when that's expected. In Minneapolis, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Protesters are outraged following the weekend shooting there, and they are confused and uncertain about their legal rights as well. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon spoke to attorneys about what people should know when encountering immigration enforcement.
Rallies and protests erupting in Los Angeles and across the country after federal agents in Minneapolis shot and killed another person over the weekend. The incident sparking anger and confusion over what rights protesters have.
Really important for people to know their rights, but clearly there is no guarantee that the government will respect those rights.
Meredith Gallen is a senior staff attorney with the ACLU of Southern California.
But the thing that is terrifying about this precise moment is that people are doing things that are well within their rights, and they are being met with force and violence.
The Department of Homeland Security says Alex Pretty, the 37-year-old nurse and U.S. citizen shot and killed by a Border Patrol agent, was shot after agents say he approached Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Officials did not specify if he brandished the gun, but family members said the 37-year-old owned a handgun and had a permit to carry.
So you have a First Amendment right to record and to observe and to protest the Department of Homeland Security, and that includes ICE.
Gallen says one thing to keep in mind if you are recording DHS activity.
You can consider doing so at a distance that allows you to clearly observe what DHS is doing on your phone.
But here on the ground in Los Angeles, community patrols are ramping up. Immigration activist Ron Goches with Union del Barrio says they're being very clear with their training when it comes to monitoring ICE activity.
We continue to train people. This Saturday, we trained over 400 new recruits to participate in the community patrols just in Los Angeles.
In South LA, Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
New tonight, a shocking moment caught on camera. A child falls out of a moving car and is almost hit by another vehicle. Tonight, the child's mother is facing serious charges. Fox 11's Gina Silva's live in La Habra with the latest. Gina.
That's right, Christine. That mother is in serious trouble. As you said it, when you look at that video, it is terrifying to see how close that child came to being struck by another vehicle.
It's shocking. It's scary. Should be no excuse for that happening to any child.
A 19-month-old toddler was nearly run over and killed after falling out of the passenger side of a moving SUV last Tuesday morning in Fullerton. The incident was captured on dash cam and then posted on social media.
A pretty shocking incident that took 4 days for us to actually get information to be able to follow up on.
After the video went viral, a witness went to the Fullerton Police Department to formally report the incident. Detectives identified the driver as 35-year-old Jacqueline Hernandez of La Habra. She was arrested on suspicion of felony child abuse.
Once they were out there in the city of La Habra, they found the 19-month-old had sustained injuries that were consistent with falling from the vehicle. The child was transported to a local hospital and is expected to make a full recovery.
I can't excuse something like that. I'm sorry.
Neighbors in La Habra say the family has several children, and they can't believe the mother could put her child in such extreme danger.
As a mom, that's the first thing you want to do, the safety of your kids.
I think it speaks to the importance of putting our children in car seats when driving them anywhere. Kids are in car seats or booster seats, at certain weights and certain ages, to limit issues or incidents like this from happening.
Jacqueline Hernandez will be arraigned tomorrow morning at 8:30. Meanwhile, the Fullerton Police Department is asking the public if there were any witnesses out there that still haven't come forward, please call the department. That is the Fullerton Police Department. Christine?
Gina, I think we can all just look at that video and say, thank God that child is alive. And the driver behind the mother was paying enough attention to stop quickly as she stopped the car. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why it's so important when we're driving not to be focused on anything but driving. If we're texting, you're not paying attention. And that was so, you look at it, the car was right behind. It's a good thing they were able to stop right away, but that child really is lucky that, that toddler only suffered apparently minor injuries.
Oh, you wonder how that happened. All right, Gina, thanks so much. Still at 8, Pali High getting ready to welcome back students for the first time since the wildfires. We take a tour of the campus live next.
I'm Haley Winslow. Coming up next, a street race crash you have to see to believe, and why the driver isn't going to face any charges.
frightening fiery crash in Seal Beach. Police say dozens of people sped away instead of helping. Investigators believe speed and possible street racing played a role. Fox 11's Haley Winslow live in Seal Beach with more on the story.
Disturbing dashcam video reveals what went wrong. Street racing down Westminster between Bolsa Chica and Seal Beach Boulevards around 1:30 Saturday morning when the car slams into a light pole. Chaos erupts. People who race to the wreck are frantic and screaming for help and to call 911 as a man moans inside the mangled car.
Help! Please! We gotta get him out! Help us! What the
They pull the driver free just as the car bursts into flames.
I've never seen a car inflamed like that or to that extent of damage with someone who wasn't deceased.
About 50 feet from the burning wreck, Seal Beach police see the man on the ground severely injured. First responders rush the driver to the hospital and search for others.
The Naval Weapons Station's employees did a search. Our drone team did a search for any ejected passengers and could not find any.
Online comments point to a passenger named Kyle, who witnesses rushed to the ER in worse condition. Officers say the driver's friends took off, leading to their latest Instagram post recommending he finds new ones.
The tongue-in-cheek joke on the social media post, he might want to start picking better friends because they did not seem to care about his well-being and were more concerned about contact with law enforcement.
The Seal Beach Police Department does have a task force that they use to help combat street racing, but as we know, this is an issue all over Southern California, and as soon as the police arrive, they just move to another location. Charges can range anywhere from a misdemeanor just for the act of street racing all the way up to a homicide, of course, if somebody dies during a street race. And then there's a whole other process to try to get your car out of the impound in order for it to be street legal once again. Reporting at Seal Beach Police, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
From Olympian to accused drug kingpin, Ryan Wedding is facing shocking charges. Orange County prosecutors say the 44-year-old ran a billion-dollar cocaine empire, trafficking more than 60 tons of drugs and working with the Sinaloa cartel. He's also accused of ordering multiple murders, including a witness killing. Once a member of the 2002 Canadian Olympic snowboarding team, Wedding spent nearly a decade on the FBI's most wanted list before his arrest. His attorney disputed claims that Wedding was in hiding in Mexico.
Hiding out and living somewhere are two different things. And so I would characterize it as living. The government can characterize it their way. And hence, why we have these judicial proceedings to determine ultimately how things turn out and whose interpretation of the facts is correct.
Wedding has pleaded not guilty. His trial begins March 24th right here in Santa Ana. Coming up, everyone's talking about travel right now, but what's the best airline to fly? Which one's maybe the worst? The full list ahead.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Sold.
I don't know about tonight, but today it felt a bit like spring, maybe summer, sort of, in the sun. All right, Star Harvey here with the forecast.
I think that's keyword for it felt good out there, right?
Yeah, sure did.
It did. It felt good, but it also looked pretty amazing. And all of this coming off of such a beautiful weekend. We are left behind with mostly clear skies through the remainder of our Monday evening here. And during the afternoon, our temperatures also came in slightly above their averages. And we'll continue to see a warming trend through this week as we are going to be under the influence of multiple high pressure systems. We'll have a parade of them moving across Southern California. As far as what's happening with the residue, or I can say the tail end of our storm system, bringing in all of the snow as well as some of that ice, well, it has moved off to the far northeast. So if we do still have those friends around the Boston area, up and through portions of Maine, just go ahead and check in on them. We also have some of that snow building in across some of the Great Lakes. Closer here to home, we've been dry through our Monday. That is the case for most of the West Coast. That is beginning to change as we do move into the middle of this week. As early as tomorrow, we will have some clouds filtering in across not just portions of Washington, as well as, Seattle, Portland, stretching down into northern and central California. But as we push into Wednesday, we are tracking our next storm system. Now, this system will stay due north, and with that, we'll see some of the Pacific Northwest taking in some precipitation, but also Northern California. We may see some of this moisture seep as far south as San Luis Obispo into central California, but as far as us here in the Southern California, LA Basin, we should remain on the drier side through the remainder of this week. Checking in on our temperatures across the area, picked Van Nuys up across the San Fernando Valley, partly clear skies out there, mostly clear skies. We do have some clouds filtering in and about. Temperatures right now at 62 degrees out there, and you do have a nice calm wind moving at about 6 miles per hour. Our winds breezy. Santa Ana event moved a little bit earlier today across some of our mountains and hills, but across the LA area, fairly quiet. Temperatures right now at Frazier Park, 25 degrees. That is a big difference from what we have here down in LA. 39 over in Victorville. Lancaster, Palmdale, temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. Our mountains, Big Bear at 27 degrees, and it's also slightly mild across portions of Santa Ana, but also Corona with temperatures in the lower 60s. Here's a quick check back in on tonight. Palmdale, but also Victorville, and yes, our mountains, your temperatures dipping, sub-freezing. So you'll have your temperatures in the 20s for tonight. Waking up tomorrow morning, make sure you have those layers, and even going to bed tonight, make sure those windows are closed and maybe you have a few extra layers of blankets out there. As far as the coastline, your lows tonight in the 40s. Here's a look at how we're expecting to unfold across the coast this week. We are still going to be in the upper 60s for the next couple of days, but as we hit the end of the week, I'd say Thursday into our weekend, we have that secondary system, high pressure coming in, and that is what is going to allow for our temperatures to warm well above their averages. As far as the valleys go, we'll be in the 70s from tomorrow through at least Wednesday into Thursday before we start to see some 80-degree temperatures making their way back into the forecast. It's going to be a quite beautiful week across the Southern California area. Even our mountains are going to see temperatures in the 50s at least until the middle of this week before we start to make our way towards Friday and the weekend. We get some 60-degree temperatures out there. So we got some good weather headed this way. I'll have more details coming up in your 7-day forecast. For now, Christine, back to you.
We want to walk into work and know that we're going to have what we need to take care of the patients every day. And right now, it's a big question mark.
Still ahead, Kaiser nurses hit the picket lines with their demanding, plus Laura Diaz.
I'm Laura Diaz in Pacific Palisades. 1 year after that devastating fire, high school students get to go back to their old campus. It's all ready for them to come back. Their story coming up.
SoCal. This is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
It's a long-awaited homecoming for Palisades Charter High School. Students are finally returning to campus over a year after a devastating fire left nearly half the school in ruins. We know that fire well. Fox 11's Laura Diaz is live in Pacific Palisades. Laura.
Yes, Christine, tomorrow morning they will open up the doors behind me, and students who've been displaced for over a year will get to go back to their old campus. There's a lot of emotion about this very important date and time, and we had the opportunity to go on campus today and talk to various people about what it meant to them.
I don't know, it's almost like a comeback.
It's 24 hours before Palisades Charter High School reopens its campus, a little more than a year after it was devastated by an historic wildfire. Fox 11 on campus Monday as work continued at a rapid rate.
It definitely doesn't look the same and it doesn't feel the same, but just the fact that we get to be back here is just a blessing.
Some would say it's both a blessing and a miracle. This footage from January 2025 shows fire ripping through the campus at a feverish pitch. Those flames consumed a building where many classrooms were held. 1 year later, grass sits where the building used to be. For now, temporary classrooms have been erected with white desks and blue chairs. But students told me they're thrilled to finish up their senior year back on the old campus. At times, some were not sure it would happen.
This is definitely home. This is where I belong.
Tomorrow at 2:46, I'll say the Dolphins are home.
That last gentleman is the director of operations. He's been working night and day, as have his whole team. A lot of people putting in long hours, Christine. And as to where the students were being educated up to this point off campus, they were online for a while, and then they were at Pali South, which was in Santa Monica. So, you know, these students have had to go through a lot as they saw their community gutted for a lot of folks, and then their school too. So part of their sense of home is being the fact that they're back on campus and they get that piece of their life back. But in talking to them, Christine, I can tell you that a lot of the students I talked to, they had grown up through this experience because for many of them, this might be their first time that they sustained this kind of loss. So they were able to express it to me, I thought, in rather poignant terms. Tomorrow, it'll be a celebration, though, when they open those doors. 2,500 students, faculty, and staff will be here to kick it off. Fox 11 will be here to document all of it. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from the Palisades, sending it back to you. Christine?
So Laura, we know about, if I have this right, 40%, give or take, of the school had been burned with the Palisades fire. I was wondering what it felt like to drive through that neighborhood. We've talked about this being a year plus of the anniversary. What does the greater area look like to you just driving to the high school there?
Well, honestly, Christine, I didn't get the opportunity to drive through the neighborhood too much today. I came straight to the school because that's what our setup was. But I can tell you, the students I spoke to, and we'll get to this in some later reports, one of the gentlemen of the students had lost his home and lost his school. So I felt that the students had grown up through what they experienced. They were able to express it to me in very adult terms. They know they've been through a lot, and this is the first step toward coming out the other side. So I saw a lot of wisdom, I saw maturity, and I saw growth. I was personally impressed by the young people I spoke to today.
I love hearing that. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like for a young person to go through all of that. All right, thank you so much. Loud music with the waving signs and dozens of people on the picket line. This is outside the Panorama City Kaiser Permanente facility today. Similar scenes playing out at 7 other Kaiser locations in LA and Orange counties. 31,000 nurses, therapists, and other medical professionals are striking the health maintenance organization, demanding fair contracts and better staffing.
We just want the basics, honestly. We want to walk into work and know that we're going to have what we need to take care of the patients every day. And right now, it's a big question mark. We don't know what's our staffing, what resources we're going to have, and it's just unacceptable, honestly.
Kaiser disputes the claim, saying it offered a pay increase of 21.5% over the life of the contract. The Striking workers vow to remain off the job until their demands are met. 1 week after visiting a California detention facility, Senator Alex Padilla has introduced the Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act. The bill aims to phase out private for-profit detention centers and family detention and improve oversight and conditions for detainees. Comes after reports of inhumane treatment, unsafe conditions, and a growing number of in-custody deaths. Padilla says the legislation will ensure accountability while addressing mass detention policies. New Date community activists and attorneys denounce what they say is a recent collaboration between Alhambra PD and ICE. This follows a Fox 11 report from last week. The community is calling on Alhambra officials to take a clear stance. No collaboration with ICE or Border Patrol. Angie Vargas attended tonight's City Council meeting and says she was legally documenting ICE activity when she was stopped by Alhambra PD.
To stop federal agents question my citizenship and use their badges to intimidate and assert authority beyond the law. Alhambra PD intervened and effectively handed me off to federal agents rather than protecting my rights.
The Alhambra Police Department had no right to stop her or intervene with her activities or to assist the ICE or Border Patrol goons.
It's attorney Luis Carrillo there, who joined Angie at the City Council meeting. They're calling for an investigation into her claims that Alhambra PD stopped her from her constitutional right to document government activity. They are also calling for a full public report on the incident. Tonight, Sky Fox over the Museum of Tolerance in Pico Robertson as it lights up in blue to honor Ran Govli. He was a 24-year-old Israeli police officer killed on October 7th by Hamas terrorists. His remains were recovered today from Gaza, marking the end of Israel's search for all the hostages. His return has led to Israel agreeing to reopen Gaza's Rafah border for limited pedestrian traffic under strict monitoring. This move allows displaced Palestinians also to return home. A 27-year-old man is under arrest for allegedly stabbing a man to death in Fullerton, then to Buena Park, and causing a hit-and-run crash. Last night, 911 operators in Fullerton received a call about a man being stabbed and run over by a car. Fullerton officers broadcast a suspect description. Buena Park police responded to a report of a hit-and-run accident and matched up that description. An eyewitness describes what he saw.
I was leaving Knott's Berry Farm and I was walking up the street here, and there was a guy on the ground here. He was yelling out, "God forgive me," and he was getting arrested. And then they put a spit hood over his head. He was just screaming, God forgive me." That's what he was saying. He was saying, "God forgive me."
Suspect is identified as Fullerton resident Francisco Soriano Jr., age 27. He's been booked on murder charges and is in jail. Fullerton police are searching for the motive behind the crime. Cleaning up graffiti in Los Angeles can be expensive for the city, but officials are trying a different method, putting up artificial ivy. This is video from Sky Fox over the 101 freeway at Los Angeles Street, where crews were covering up graffiti with the new artificial ivy due to a mural and related agreements at this location and several walls along the 101. Caltrans is not legally allowed to paint over or remove graffiti. The artificial ivy is installed in 1 foot by 1 foot squares that can be easily removed and replaced. 2 local athletes are heading to the Olympics, and both are proudly representing the U.S. Army. Los Angeles native Spencer Howe will make his Olympic debut in pairs figure skating, earning Team USA's final spot after a dramatic comeback at the U.S. Championships. Howe is the Army's only pair skater, and from Santa Clarita, Azaria Hill will compete in the women's bobsled as a brakeman, continuing a powerful Olympic legacy as the daughter of 2 Olympic medalists. Hill joined the Army last year and quickly rose to the top ranks of U.S. bobsled, now chasing gold on the world stage.
It's a pinch me moment. I'm like, all those times all those projects of what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to become an Olympian. I want to be an Olympian like my mom and dad and my aunt. And so now it's like, it's finally here. And I'm just like, I'm still on cloud 9.
It's part of the reason why I chose to serve, because I've always wanted to do something bigger than myself.
And so to be able to take that to the Olympic stage is, for me, just truly grateful.
The Winter Olympics run from February 6th to the 22nd and take place in Italy. We want to take a moment to welcome our Fox 11 Plus viewers joining us following the Anaheim Ducks game. Good evening. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Christine Devine. Today marks 6 years of sad anniversary here since the death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. They were killed when their helicopter crashed into a steep hillside in dense fog. 7 others also on board. Bryant was as you probably know this already, 5-time NBA champion and a longtime Los Angeles Lakers star. That tragedy sent shockwaves through the sports world and beyond. To this day, people continue to honor his legacy with all those murals and statues across Southern California. In 2021, Congresswoman Michelle Steele introduced a resolution to recognize Kobe Bryant Day nationwide on August 24th. His number there. A new voice is launching in California journalism and is centered right here in LA. The California Post, and the first issue went out today. Fox 11's Marla Tejas breaks down the Post plans to tell bold, fast, and focused stories about politics, sports, and the issues that shape our state. Take a look.
It's a historic day in many, many ways to launch a new masthead 7 days a week in digital. The California Post is here. We've arrived in LA and we've arrived in California.
The California Post is positioning itself as a statewide newsroom covering politics, entertainment, and sports with a distinctly California focus.
We're going to make sure we tell the stories that matter to the people in California, but with a real big focus on California and Los Angeles.
One major pillar of that coverage, entertainment reporting, including a West Coast expansion of Page 6.
I grew up loving Page 6 and reading it, and I know there are a lot of people, even the ones who pretend they don't, who religiously read Page 6 every day.
The leadership team says the goal is to invest in reporting at a moment when California is at the center of global attention.
It's the perfect time to bring the California Post here, to have a fresh new take for Californians, as there is, as you said, so much going on. It's not just Hollywood, it's sports, it's industry.
From politics to sports to entertainment.
There are people that know this city and the state really, really well, and for me as well, this is a return to a city and a state that I love.
The California Post is now live, publishing digitally 7 days a week, with the print edition rolling out across Southern California. Marla Tejas, Fox 11 News.
As part of our partnership, Fox 11 and the California Post will be teaming up to give you more reporting, more context, and more stories that matter across LA and California. Coming up, we're checking in with meteorologist Star Harvey.
We are tracking mostly dry conditions through the remainder of our Monday, but we do have some precipitation hitting the West Coast. I'll have the details and everything you need to know for the rest of your work week on the other side of this break.
And this is coming up here. We're really proud to be covering this for you. Mark your calendars. Fox 11 is co-hosting a gubernatorial debate scheduled for Tuesday, February 3rd in San Francisco. Watch it live on Fox 11 from 5:30 to 8 or stream it on the Fox local app. Marla Tejas will be one of 3 moderators. And we do want to hear from you, so you can scan the QR code, submit a question for the candidate. The 2026 season, Habit was founded in Santa Barbara in 1969, was named #1 in burger in America by USA Today in 2024 and 2025. That looks yummy. Week-long celebration of Long Beach's diverse food scene is happening right now. Fox 11's Coco McAvoy went to check out one of the places taking part in Long Beach Black Restaurant Week.
Hey there, everyone. We are celebrating Long Beach Black Restaurant Week, and we're celebrating it in style with some high tea here, of course. I am joined with Chef Melissa Ramsey, also Trey Watson. I'm going to start with you, Chef. Tell us all about this incredible experience. I'm already having fun.
Thank you so much. Yes, well, I do high teas, and we are a mobile tea service as well, fresh off the yacht catering and events. And we host beautiful tea parties, and our experiences are you come to our teas and you select a teapot to use during the event, and it's a 3-course lunch on Sunday, February 15th.
Yeah. And speaking of that date, you really have a deal going on for Long Beach Black Restaurant Week with that.
We do, yes, absolutely. For Long Beach Black Restaurant Week, if you buy your tickets during this week, ending on the 31st, you get 15% off of any of the packages for our teas.
This is an amazing idea. You've been doing it for a while, too. Tell us about the inspiration behind it.
Well, you know, I wanted to do something on a bigger scale other than bringing just the tea and everything you see here to your homes. So I partnered with Events on Pine to host these series of tea experiences, and it's a different theme every time.
Yes, and it's just so much fun, and it looks amazing. This is an amazing event space. So, Trey, I want to pass it over to you to tell us more about Events on Pine.
So, Events on Pine is a new landmark venue in the heart of Long Beach. We offer private space for you to hold your weddings, your corporate events, and also any private social events that you'd like to have. And we are so grateful and happy that we're able to partner with Melissa and be able to do these teas and bring them to you as well.
Yes, because the thing that I love too, Chef Ramsey, is you said your mom really loved this too, right?
Yes, yes. Beverly is my inspiration, my mother. A lot of these teapots are hers, and she's been collecting them over years. I have 200 of them.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
That's incredible. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Chef Ramsey. Thank you so much, Trey, as well. This is an experience that you have to come and try for yourself. Look at the fascinators. You get entertainment, like she mentioned as well. Lots of great food. And if you participate in Long Beach Black Restaurant Week, you will get that deal for high tea happening Sunday, February 15th. But Long Beach Black Restaurant Week is going to wrap up on the 31st. So make sure to support these amazing restaurants. I'll send it back to you.
And you were thinking that's something you might like to do?
Yes. Yeah. It just rings everything star. I'm like, that is so cute. I love a good tea party.
I'm all about the fascinator. Yes. I have a few at home myself.
I've yet to partake in that, but I mean, I love all things fancy. They have gloves on and yeah.
Little dainty things to eat.
Yes. I love food. Right. Food and tea.
So I'm out and about today. I'm dressed almost like for winter, and it's hot out.
Yeah, you know, I knew what the weather was going to be, so I'm like outside in tank top and feeling good, you know. A temperature slightly above their averages, especially coming off of the weekend, and we are going to continue that way. We'll get a little bit of a break come the middle of the week because we do have a system that will be pushing through off to the north of us, but come the middle and end of our week across Southern California, we are going to see a secondary system move through. While we are quiet here on the West Coast, we do still have some of that snowstorm activity holding up across the far northeast. The good news is that all of that wintry precip that pretty much took over our radar over the weekend has come to an end. We do still get left behind with a lot of chilly conditions, especially across portions of the south, but also into the mid-Atlantic and up towards the northeast as well. Here on the home front, it is going to be a pretty quiet pattern through this week. No real worries in the weather world here. We are going to have a warming trend, and for some of us, by the end of this week, our temperatures could reach the 80s across some of the valleys in the Inland Empire, and we're also looking at some breezy Santa Ana winds for some spots, especially our hills, but also our mountains. As far as today went, we clocked in at 75 degrees today. That definitely brought us up here across the LA area above our averages, which is typically in the upper 60s. We had a lot more 70s wherever you see that yellow at. So stretching from the Palm Springs area through portions of the Orange County, Anaheim, Irvine, South Bay, up and through the Santa Monica area as well. And then we did have some 60s holding really tight across some of the area as well, especially up towards the Ventura County region. Now here's a look at our synoptic map right now. What's happening out in the atmosphere? We do have that high pressure system. This is what's responsible for allowing those temperatures to bump slightly above their averages to start our week. This will be the case moving into into our weekend. As you can see out there across the East Coast, we will continue to have that cold weather in place through this week and unfortunately moving into their weekend. At least that winter storm system has passed. Here's the outlook right now. We do have those beautiful conditions out there rolling into the midnight hour tomorrow. We should still be under pretty quiet conditions out there. We will have some clouds filtering in, but you'll see that happen by the time we get to Wednesday, late Tuesday into Wednesday. Otherwise, here's a look at those temperatures. The 80 degrees will take place at the end of the week. So Friday moving into Saturday. Back to you.
All right, we still have more news ahead at 8, but first is a preview of what's coming up at 9. Drugs, guns, knives, and the homeless. MacArthur Park has all of it. What about human remains? One man thinks so. We'll hear how he wants to prove it. Plus, one has now turned into 2. Jackie the Eagle has laid another egg. We've got details ahead at 9. As always, some big names are coming to the 2026 LA County Fair this May. The concert series kicks off May 9th in Pomona with a legendary band, War. And on Saturday, May 16th, country superstar Brad Paisley takes the stage as the headliner. And closing out the fair on May 31st is Mexico's own Ramon Ayala. Tickets go on sale next month. They include same-day fair admission. For more details, visit lacountyfair.com.
Who is this? Yoshi. Come on. So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
Yeah, that's Yoshi. Nintendo just released the newest trailer for its highly anticipated sequel, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Chris Pratt and Charlie Day return as Mario and Luigi. This time the plumbers will be joined by the beloved dinosaur Yoshi, who in the trailer teams up with Toad to defend baby Mario and baby Luigi from another much larger dinosaur. The Super Mario Galaxy movie will hit theaters on April 1st. So the Wall Street Journal is out with its best and worst airlines list. There's a new airline in the top spot. It's Southwest. The Journal says Southwest had the fewest customer complaints and tarmac delays and lowest cancellation rate. At number 2, Allegiant Air. Delta, number 3, Alaska, which was seen as steady and reliable, came in at number 4. And despite bankruptcy issues, Spirit Airlines announced, rounded out the top 5. At the bottom, United, JetBlue, American, and Frontier. All right, don't go anywhere. I'm not dead yet. LA Live News Tonight continues at 9.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 9, a winter storm leaves at least a dozen dead and hundreds of thousands without power. Dangerous conditions continue causing chaos at airports, even in sunny Southern California. And tensions rise as President Trump scales back Minnesota's immigration crackdown, but a federal judge could bring it to a halt altogether. Plus, new revelations about a deadly shooting by a border agent in Minneapolis. A closer look at that body camera footage.
And we just got back from MacArthur Park, where one businessman says that authorities threatened to arrest him today for trying to use sonar in the lake. What he was looking for and what he has to say coming up.
We're live from the coast to the inland valleys. Meteorologist Star Harvey with a preview of what's on the horizon with the weather.
Oh, we are fairly quiet here across the LA area, but we do have some precipitation hitting the west coast before this week comes to an end. I have the details and everything you need to know in your 7-day forecast coming up.
Good evening. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Christine Devine in tonight for Marla Tejas. At least 12 people are dead after a severe winter storm hit much of the country this weekend. Ice damage left over 800,000 people without power. While recovery efforts are underway, dangerous conditions persist. Meantime, temperatures around Southern California, well, rather moderate, rather nice, but the storm is creating a ton of travel turbulence at our airports. We have team coverage tonight. Meteorologist Star Harvey is tracking the conditions, but first, we go live to Ed Lascos at LAX, where numerous flights are being canceled or delayed. Ed.
And Christine, it has been another long day, another long night for air travelers here, talking about a long list of cancellations and delays, all the frozen fallout from that major winter storm. Joe, if you please take us into the story. Upper level Terminal 7, it is busy here this late hour. Nowhere near as busy, I'll tell you, as all of the terminals around the Horseshoe. If you go to one area, the customer service area, the agent service area, long lines there. Travelers no doubt trying to rebook, change their flights, get onto another flight, all because of the backlog, the travel nightmare. To the video we go, check it, talking about it. We'll check the big board, Terminal 7, all those yellow marks. Major airlines, airports, Boston, Washington, delays, just part of the hundreds of delays. Outright cancellations hitting LAX for yet another day, another night. Some of the travelers we've been talking to saying they finally made it here, but faced hour after hour of delay. One passenger coming in from Chicago said he got to the airport there, O'Hare, no problems. Well, he gets to the gate, and then there are problems. Delays, he said, started at about an hour, then it quickly went up to 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Finally, after some 12 hours, getting here, landing at LAX. That's the kind of day and night it has been from that major winter storm. You think about it, the storm that dumps more than a foot of snow through parts of the Northeast, crippling some of the major terminals and airports there. Boston's Logan, Washington's Dulles, LaGuardia over in New York, and then you've got the problems to the south. There was a major ice storm there hitting the major airports like Boston, and I should say like Dallas and Fort Worth. Major delays there. We saw some of the flights coming in from Dallas a little while ago, and yes, they had a long day of delays. Listen.
Yes, we were delayed by 2 hours, so we missed our connection here. We're going on the way to Palm Springs.
But going out there was mostly ice or down in Texas?
Ice and snow.
So one fellow said it's almost like a nightmare traveling today.
It is not a good day to travel, at least not from Texas.
Right, just to have
or probably not from D.C. or New York.
My first flight was delayed by 6 hours. Then I hopped on the second flight, and that was for United, and that was also delayed by an hour and a half. Getting here, so
it sounds like a nightmare.
It definitely was. They didn't tell us until we were already at our gate, and then they kept pushing it back like every 20 minutes. Like, oh, 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours. And
a friend of mine was coming from Philly, got delayed twice, sat at the airport, it got canceled. They rescheduled it, sat for another 4 hours, and then they canceled that. So he's not here.
My goodness, huh?
Right, it's been crazy for sure. The weather on the East Coast has definitely been crazy.
Crazy cold, I'll tell you. Now live, Terminal 7, busy here. I got to tell you, though, everybody's been saying when's it going to slowly get back to normal air travel-wise. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy out a little while ago saying, yes, the system is reeling, trying to scramble around, get the flights moving, the backlog that we're seeing. And Duffy was saying maybe by Wednesday they hope to be somewhat back online. But then the trouble is, Christine, they get back online, back to the schedule, but there's going to be an overflow of passengers. So the flights are even even going to be booked then, hard to get by. So this storm really causing havoc right through the travel system through most of our country.
Right, so I'm listening to what Sean Duffy had to say, talking about how it takes some time to get the system back up and running. So travelers, you kind of don't know what to face for the next couple of days, am I right?
Yeah, that's the trouble. They're hoping in some of these big major hubs like Boston, like New York, in that area, the coast, the Northeast, to try to get things moving, but they're scrambling even at this hour because of the snow. Now, as that storm has moved through, you have the freezing ice, and a lot of the airports are talking about even continued delays with that. So Wednesday's their hope, but really as it plays out, we've seen this before, Christine, unfortunately. It takes even a few days longer than what they're hoping for just because the backlog is so severe.
Yeah, no fun to travel this week. All right, thanks so much. We take a live look now at this morning's mix of bitter cold temperatures and strong winds, leaving icy roads outside of Denver. Some mountain ranges in Colorado got nearly 2 feet of snow over the weekend. Meteorologist Star Harvey, these are the times we're glad we're here in Southern California, for sure.
Oh, especially coming off of this weekend where, you know, we did have this big storm, big winter storm, historic possibly or perhaps move across the U.S. As far as what's happening here on the West Coast, our temperatures as well as conditions have been on the docile side here. We do continue with mostly clear skies through the remainder of our Monday evening. We do have a little bit of still wintry weather across the far northeast, across Boston right now. Maine also seeing some of that snow come down across the area as well. But the good news is that we did have a lot of that snow and ice clear out, but they are still left across the area with a lot of winter-like temperatures. As far as what's happening here through the remainder of our week, we are going to be on the quieter side. We do have a warming trend due to settle in. By the time we get to the end of this week, some of us are going to be looking at temperatures in the low 80s. As far as our winds picking up, we did have some moving through the area today, so our hills, but also some of our mountains are likely to see some more of those gusty to breezy conditions at times throughout this week. Our temperatures across the downtown area did quite impressive today. We hit 75 degrees. You'll see how far above that puts us from our normal of 68 degrees. We are expecting to see a lot more of this through the rest of the week. I'll be back with those details shortly. Christine, back to you.
Developing tonight, a key witness in the investigation of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez's death, whose body was found in the trunk of singer David's Tesla last year. This is the witness here. That's singer David. Well, that friend has been arrested in Montana, returned to Los Angeles. Neil Langston, a social media influencer, was detained after failing to testify before a grand jury over the weekend. He bailed out of the LA Police Department's jail for $60,000. The case remains under investigation as authorities work to uncover the circumstances surrounding the teen's death. At 9, a Southern California tech CEO has been charged with murdering his estranged wife amid a bitter divorce battle involving over $4.5 million in property. The body was found at the bottom of a mountain embankment in November. Investigators releasing a sketch because they couldn't immediately identify her remains. Prosecutors now allege her husband, Gordon Goodarzi, carried out the crime with planning and sophistication. He is now being held without bail. Only on Fox 11 tonight, a local businessman was threatened with arrest by park rangers while planning to deploy sonar to the lake at MacArthur Park. John Alley says he was hoping to answer rumors about guns, knives, and possibly human remains beneath the surface. Fox 11's Matthew Sudor spent the evening at MacArthur Park. Is live with more. Matthew, what'd you find?
Well, we had to move locations for our live shot just because it's just too dangerous to be near MacArthur Park after dark. But tonight we're still waiting to learn what is buried in that lake. If you go and take a look at this video, this is in MacArthur Park tonight as we walked around. Sirens just blaring, people passed out. Open drug use in almost every direction. And there we met with local business owner John Alley just hours after park rangers threatened to arrest him for trying to use sonar in the lake. Alley works with the Santa Monica Coalition and has helped relocate dozens of LA's homeless back to families out of state. He says families reached out to him concerned about loved ones who went missing near the park. So Alley had hoped sonar could provide answers, but rangers instead shut it down, saying it required a permit, issuing a parking ticket instead. Tonight, questions remain about what may be in that water.
Kids had gone missing. The police have been very helpful. They've said some of them could be in the water.
Bodies, possibly, for over the years. You just never know. Like, it's just like, it's such a simple task. Like, okay, bam. I'm pretty sure, but who's to know?
We've been told the bodies, the human remains are strapped to wheelchairs, bikes, wheels, thrown in.
So John tells me that he hopes to work with the city and get that permit so that they can use the sonar, and he plans to be back out there and get answers. Reporting live downtown tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
I know we have covered his story of trying to reunite families with people who are homeless before. Whole different story here. That sonar equipment, I don't know what it even looks like. How has he discovered that he was trying to do that by authorities?
Yeah, so he reached out to a company that's out of state, and he said it was more than $10,000 in cost that was paid for by the Santa Monica Coalition. And essentially, it goes about a foot beneath the water's surface and can scan the lake and see the bottom. And so basically, it would require no one to get in the water, and they could get a good idea of kind of what's beneath.
I guess you might need to get approval for that kind of use. All right, thanks for that story there. President Trump is dialing back on Minnesota's immigration crackdown after talks with state and city leaders. He's sending border czar Tom Homan to oversee enforcement. Some federal agents are already leaving following backlash over recent fatal shootings by immigration officers. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt talked about the president's possible decision to work with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on an investigation into Saturday's shooting and reducing federal officers in Minnesota.
The president spoke about this with Governor Walz and said he would have a discussion about it. He did not make a commitment, and so therefore I won't make that commitment here. I would just remind all of you in the media, because I've seen a lack of reporting on this fact, there are investigations into what took place on Saturday. The president supports those investigations, and as I've said repeatedly, he wants to see them move forward.
A federal hearing today to block the immigration enforcement surge in Minnesota ended without a ruling. The judge is expected to issue a written order on the case, though no timeline was given for when that's expected. Tonight, protesters are expressing outrage after the weekend shooting. Many are feeling also perhaps uncertain about their legal rights. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon spoke with attorneys to break down what you need to know when dealing with immigration enforcement.
Rallies and protests erupting in Los Angeles and across the country after federal agents in Minneapolis shot and killed another person over the weekend. The incident sparking anger and confusion over what rights protesters have.
Really important for people to know their rights, but clearly there is no guarantee that the government will respect those rights.
Meredith Gallen is a senior staff attorney with the ACLU of Southern California.
But the thing that is terrifying about this precise moment is that people are doing things that are well within their rights, and they are being met with force and violence.
The Department of Homeland Security says Alex Preddy, the 37-year-old nurse and U.S. citizen shot and killed by a Border Patrol agent, was shot after agents say he approached Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Officials did not specify if he brandished the gun, but family members said the 37-year-old owned a handgun and had a permit to carry.
So you have a First Amendment right to record and to observe and to protest the Department of Homeland Security, and that includes ICE.
Gallen says one thing to keep in mind if you are recording DHS activity.
You can consider doing so at a distance that allows you to clearly observe what DHS is doing on your phone.
But here on the ground in Los Angeles, community patrols are ramping up. Immigration activist Ron Goches with Union del Barrio says they're being very clear with their training when it comes to monitoring ICE activity.
We continue to train people. This Saturday, we trained over 400 new recruits to participate in the community patrols just in Los Angeles.
In South LA, Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
Back here at home, community activists and attorneys are speaking out against alleged collaboration between Alhambra police and ICE, again alleged. This comes after a recent report and calls for city officials to take a clear stance against working with immigration authorities. One activist claims she was stopped by police while legally documenting ICE activity. Now there are demands for an investigation and a public report. A terrifying moment caught on camera coming up. A toddler falls out of a moving SUV in Fullerton. Wow. Shocking details about the driver now facing felony charges. Plus, the school rises from the ashes. Palisades Charter reopens tonight after last year's devastating wildfire. Take you there. Shocking moment caught on camera. A child falls out of a moving car, is almost hit by another vehicle. Fox 11's Gina Silva reports tonight the child's mother is facing charges.
It is shocking. It's scary. Should be no excuse for that happening to any child.
A 19-month-old toddler was nearly run over and killed after falling out of the passenger side of a moving SUV last Tuesday morning in Fullerton. The incident was captured on dash cam and then posted on social media.
A pretty shocking incident that took 4 days for us to actually get information to be able to follow up on.
After the video went viral, a witness went to the Fullerton Police Department to formally report the incident. Detectives identified the driver as 35-year-old Jacqueline Hernandez of La Habra. She was arrested on suspicion of felony child abuse.
Once they were out there in the city of La Habra, they found the 19-month-old had sustained injuries that were consistent with falling from the vehicle. The child was transported to a local hospital and is expected to make a full recovery.
I can't excuse something like that. I'm sorry.
Neighbors in La Habra say the family has several children, and they can't believe the mother could put her child in such extreme danger.
As a mom, that's the first thing you want to do, the safety of your kids.
I think it speaks to the importance of putting our children in car seats when driving them anywhere. Kids are in car seats or booster seats, at certain weights and certain ages, to limit issues or incidents like this from happening.
Jacqueline Hernandez is still in custody. She will be arraigned on Tuesday morning. The Fullerton Police Department is asking for any potential witnesses to come forward. I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
We are taking a live look over the Mount Wilson area there. We have mostly clear skies out there. Beautiful conditions to start off a work week. In fact, as we take a look here beside me, we are taking the same view out there. Gorgeous conditions. Let's go ahead and get to our satellite and our radar. We do have mostly clear conditions here across the West Coast. Slightly different across the Northeast there. We do continue to see the tail end of our winter storm exiting our nation here. So that's some good news there. We do still have a lot of cold temperatures across the south, stretching up into the mid-Atlantic and yes, the East Coast as well. As far as the West Coast, we made out with high pressure in place today, and what this allowed was for our temperatures to jump above their averages. As far as sky conditions, we've seen them out there across the Mount Wilson area, mostly clear through the remainder of our evening. Different story up that I-5 corridor. We do have a dense fog advisory in place. It will go until tomorrow morning. It is for the Bakersfield region, but it does stretch as far up as the Fresno, so Central California there, where they do continue with not just that dense fog advisory, but also that Thule fog up there, that radiational fog that I keep saying about across social media. As far as our temperatures locally, we're at 57 in El Monte, 52 in Torrance, Ontario, 55 degrees, Santa Monica at 58, and Burbank coming in the low 50s as well. Now we do have a Santa Ana pattern in place, and it will continue through portions of this week. So at times we may get those breezy to gusty conditions across our mountains, but also across some of our hills. Locally, we are looking at a calmer, sustained wind pattern, moving at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And this will be the case to get us through the remainder of our evening here. Here's a look at our lows. They will be close to their normal. So we will see a lot of upper 50s, upper 40s. We'll have a few low 40s scattered across some of the area as well, like Woodland Hills shooting for about 41 tonight into tomorrow morning. Ontario there at 43 degrees. Here's a look at those temperatures for tomorrow. Fairly close to what we saw today across the LA area. We'll top off in the 70s across the area, but I talked about a warm-up coming, and again, that is not going to be until we get to the second half of our week. By Wednesday, we're tracking moisture off to the Pacific Northwest, may seep down as far as Central California. San Luis Obispo may see some of that wet weather by Wednesday, but the rest of us here across Southern California will be saying thank you to that high pressure system by the end of this week, rolling into our weekend with gorgeous conditions. Back to you.
Coming up, sold out seats to a world famous restaurant's $1,500 pop-up in LA are gone in record time. What makes the dining experience so exclusive? The answer on the other side of the break. Big changes coming to Exposition Park in LA. Nearly $100 million in state and federal funding is proposed to upgrade the park ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup and 2028 Olympics. So improvements will modernize infrastructure, boost safety, expand accessibility, creating over 300 local jobs. The Queen Mary is turning 90. The iconic ship docked in Long Beach is celebrating a milestone anniversary with a year-long event through 2026. Once a groundbreaking ocean liner, she's now a historic treasure, offering dining, tours. Yes, you can still stay there like a hotel. The celebration will feature new exhibits and experiences honoring her legacy as a luxury liner, World War II troop ship, and cultural icon. All right, so check this out. Noma LA has a $1,500 a seat residency in LA. It's sold out in just 60 seconds. You heard me say $1,500 a seat. It's a world-famous Copenhagen restaurant led by Chef Rene Redzepi. They're going to host a 16-week pop-up in Silver Lake starting in March. Today, Noma did team up with Courage Bagels for a surprise of it. Look at the bagels there. They're specialty bagels. They're $25 each. Among the flavors, sea salt sesame with oyster mushrooms and savory rose fudge bagels. And Zeppi says more pop-ups and collaborations are planned, along with mentorships for local chefs and a program for young talent under 25.
I'm Laura Diaz in Pacific Palisades. Homecomings are big for every school, but never quite as big as it will be for Pali High. That emotional story coming up.
Plus, take a peek. A new arrival in Big Bear Valley. Jackie the bald eagle has laid her second egg of the season. Could a third egg be on the way? Look at today.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
The long-awaited homecoming for Palisades Charter High School students are finally returning to campus over a year after a devastating fire left nearly half the school in ruins. Fox 11's Laura Diaz is live in Pacific Palisades. Love this update, Laura.
Yes, Christine, it is a story of resilience. They will open those doors tomorrow. We're told that there will be a celebration tomorrow morning for that occasion. But you know, you can't tell this story and not talk about everything that the people have been through. Students, families, teachers, the people who were responsible for trying to get it back on track. They did it in a little bit, just a little over a year. So tomorrow the happy occasion happens. Prior to this, they were taking classes in Santa Monica at the Sears building, and before that they were online after the devastating fire. But tomorrow, it starts all over again. It's brand new.
I don't know. It's almost like a comeback.
It's 24 hours before Palisades Charter High School reopens its campus, a little more than a year after it was devastated by an historic wildfire. Fox 11 on campus Monday as work continued at a rapid rate.
It definitely doesn't look the same and it doesn't feel the same, but just the fact that we get to be back here is just a blessing.
Some would say it's both a blessing and a miracle. This footage from January 2025 shows fire ripping through the campus at a feverish pitch. Those flames consumed a building where many classrooms were held. 1 year later, grass sits where the building used to be. For now, temporary classrooms have been erected with white desks and blue chairs. But students told me they were thrilled to finish up their senior year back on the old campus. At times, some were not sure it would happen.
This is definitely home. This is where I belong.
Tomorrow at 2:46, I'll say the Dolphins are home.
The Dolphins, of course, is their team mascot. So they will open the doors tomorrow. Fox 11 will be here for that happy occasion. The actual homecoming is this Saturday. But as you heard, home has taken on a whole new meaning for students, faculty, and staff. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from Pacific Palisades, sending it back to the studio.
I can only imagine their excitement. New at 9. Oh, wow, right there. Check that out. Video from Anaheim. This is surveillance video from a couple of hours ago. Shows that car slamming into two parked cars in front of the Harbor Smoke Shop. It's near the intersection of South Harbor Boulevard and South Street. The passenger runs away. The driver stays on scene is cooperating with police. Oh, look at that. The investigation is underway. Frightening, fiery crash in Seal Beach, and police say dozens of people sped away instead of helping. Investigators believe speed and possible street racing played a role. Fox 11's Haley Winslow went to Seal Beach to get more on the story.
Disturbing dashcam video reveals what went wrong. Street racing down Westminster between Bolsa Chica and Seal Beach Boulevards around 1:30 Saturday morning when the car slams into a light pole. Chaos erupts. People who race to the wreck are frantic and screaming for help and to call 911 as a man moans inside the mangled car.
Help! Please! We gotta get him out! Help us! What the
They pull the driver free just as the car bursts into flames.
I've never seen a car inflamed like that or to that extent of damage with someone who wasn't deceased.
About 50 feet from the burning wreck, Seal Beach police see the man on the ground severely injured. First responders rush the driver to the hospital and search for others.
The Naval Weapons Station's employees did a search. Our drone team did a search for any ejected passengers and could not find any.
Online comments point to a passenger named Kyle, who witnesses rushed to the ER in worse condition. Officers say the driver's friends took off, leading to their latest Instagram post recommending he finds new ones.
The tongue-in-cheek joke on the social media post he might want to start picking better friends because they did not seem to care about his well-being and were more concerned about contact with law enforcement.
The Seal Beach Police Department does have a task force that they use to help combat street racing, but as we know, this is an issue all over Southern California, and as soon as the police arrive, they just move to another location. Charges can range anywhere from a misdemeanor just for the act of street racing all the way up to a homicide, of course, if somebody dies during a street race. And then there's a whole other process to try to get your car out of the impound in order for it to be street legal once again. Reporting at Seal Beach Police, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
27-year-old man is arrested, accused of stabbing a man to death in Fullerton, then driving to Buena Park and causing a hit-and-run crash. Last night, 911 operators in Fullerton received a call about a man being stabbed, then run over by a car. Fullerton officers broadcast a suspect description. Buena Park police responded to a report of a hit-and-run accident. They matched up that description. An eyewitness describes what he saw.
I was leaving Knott's Berry Farm, and I was walking up the street here, and there was a guy on the ground here. He was yelling out, "God forgive me," and he was getting arrested. And then they put a spit hood over his head. He was just screaming, God forgive me." That's what he was saying. He was saying, "God forgive me."
The suspect, identified as Fullerton resident Francisco Soriano. For 2002 Canadian Olympic snowboarding team, Wedding spent nearly a decade on the FBI's most wanted list before his arrest. His attorney disputing claims that Wedding was in hiding in Mexico.
Hiding out and living somewhere are two different things. And so I would characterize it as living. The government can characterize it their way. And hence, why we have these judicial proceedings to determine ultimately how things turn out and whose interpretation of the facts is correct.
Wedding has pleaded not guilty. His trial begins March 24th in Santa Ana. Loud music and waving signs mark the picket lines outside Kaiser Permanente in Panorama City. Similar events at 7 other locations in LA and Orange counties. 31,000 healthcare workers are striking, demanding better staffing and fair contracts. Kaiser says it's offered a 21.5% pay increase, but workers plan to stay off the job until their demands are met. New tonight, right here, Sky Fox over the Museum of Tolerance in Pico Robertson as it lights up in blue to honor Ran Govli. He was a 24-year-old Israeli police officer killed on October 7th. His remains were recovered from Gaza, marking the end of Israel's search for the hostages kidnapped by Hamas over 2 years ago. His returns led to Israel agreeing to reopen Gaza's Rafah border for limited pedestrian traffic under strict monitoring. The move also allows displaced Palestinians to return home. A new voice is launching in California journalism. It's centered right here in LA. The California Post's first issue went out today, and Fox 11's Marla Tejas shows you how the Post plans to tell bold, fast, and focused stories that shape politics, sports, and the issues that shape our state.
It's a historic day in many, many ways to launch a new masthead 7 days a week in digital. The California Post is here. We've arrived in LA and we've arrived in California.
The California Post is positioning itself as a statewide newsroom covering politics, entertainment, and sports with a distinctly California focus.
We're going to make sure we tell the stories that matter to the people in California, with a real big focus on California and Los Angeles.
One major pillar of that coverage, entertainment reporting, including a West Coast expansion of Page 6.
I grew up loving Page 6 and reading it, and I know there are a lot of people, even the ones who pretend they don't, who religiously read Page 6 every day.
The leadership team says the goal is to invest in reporting at a moment when California California is at the center of global attention.
It's the perfect time to bring the California Post here, to have a fresh new take for Californians, as there is, as you said, so much going on. It's not just Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's sports. It's industry.
From politics to sports to entertainment.
For people to know the city and the state really, really well, and for me as well, this is a return to a city and a state that I love.
The California Post is now live, publishing digitally 7 days a week, with the print edition rolling out across Southern California. Marla Tejas, Fox 11 News.
As part of our ongoing partnership, Fox 11 and the California Post will be teaming up to give you more reporting, more content, and more stories that matter across LA and California. Also, Fox 11's co-hosting a gubernatorial debate. We're teaming up with our Bay Area sister station, KTVU, and the Black Action Alliance to host the race for California governor, scheduled for Tuesday, February 3rd in San Francisco. Watch it live on Fox 11 from 5:30 to 8, or of course you can stream it on the Fox local app. Marla Tejas will serve as one of 3 moderators. Check this out here. We want to hear from you. Scan that QR code. You can submit a question for the candidates. More information online at foxla.com. Seahawks fans, it's a little tough to say, right? Get ready to gear up. Up next, the Seattle shop has been working since dawn to bring you brand new merch celebrating the NFC Championship win. Tough to say. I'll tell you how fast these items are flying off the shelves. Plus, a deadly winter storm leaves millions digging out and bracing for more. Ice-covered roads, power outages, and plunging temperatures are just the beginning.
We are tracking the tail end of that winter storm off towards the northeast, but we'll also have a little wet weather of our own here across the west coast. I'll have those details on the other side of this break.
Today marks 6 years since the passing of NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna in a helicopter crash. If you recall, that also claimed 7 other lives. Bryant, a 5-time NBA champion and Lakers icon, is remembered through murals, statues, even a proposed National Kobe Bryant Day on August 24th. Well, Rams fans not happy about this, but in tonight's NFC West update, Take a look at how Seahawks fans are celebrating in the run-up to Super Bowl 60. They have a new collection of licensed gear to add to their closets. Simply Seattle has been printing gear marking the Seahawks NFC Championship win since early this morning.
This is an incredible time to be a Seahawks fan and to work in the apparel, in the merch business. So we're here printing T-shirts. We got here at the crack of dawn, basically, to fire up the presses. So we're printing T-shirts right now. We'll have them available in our stores.
A collection for them contains a variety of items, including T-shirts, hats, hoodies, pins, and decals. Airlines, meanwhile, are adding extra flights for Super Bowl weekend. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport now offers more service to the Bay Area. United Airlines is launching a special Seattle to San Jose flight, numbered 1411, honoring the quarterback Sam Darnold, and wide receiver who did so well there. Delta is adding Delta flights to San Francisco, and Alaska Airlines and is tacking on 16 more trips, making it easier for fans to reach the big game. Folks across the Northeast are digging out after snow and ice pummeled more than half the country over the weekend. Forecasters say at least a foot of snow fell in more than a dozen states. Fox's Caroline Elliott has more.
At least a dozen people were killed during the storm, and now extreme cold warnings are in effect for multiple states. A massive winter storm dumping more than a foot of snow across New England before it moves off the East Coast. But in its place, Arctic air that's threatening to refreeze roads and prolong power outages.
That's been a lot of candles getting lit, a lot of flashlights being used, and then just trying to stay warm by the fire.
Across the South, utility crews are working to restore electricity to hundreds of thousands of customers. As much as an inch of ice fell in parts of Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, sending trees crashing onto power lines.
It's not only tough work, but it's in the middle of this ice and very dangerous situations. These limbs are falling down every minute.
And temperatures are going to remain sub-freezing throughout the week. In the Northeast, snowplows are alternating with even more salt to try to keep the roads clear.
It's not as effective below 20 degrees, so we usually treat the ground first. We did, but it's not as effective, so we're seeing more ice.
Crews are also working to remove snow from runways as airports try to restore service. On Monday, more than 8,000 flights were canceled or delayed.
We are hoping to get back to normal on this Wednesday, and so you're going to see fuller flights as we come back online.
State and local officials are asking people to stay off the roads if they can to avoid getting in the way of those cleanup crews. In New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Oh, Star, we look at that weather, we think, oh, it looks so cold, which we know it is.
Absolutely. Not just cold, but as you heard from the reports there, lots of wintry weather accumulated across the U.S. here. Now, we do still have some of that system left off towards the far northeast here. So currently moving across portions of Boston, but also up and through the top of Maine as well. Now, we have remained mostly clear here from the weekend starting into the start of our week across the West Coast, and we do have some changes coming. We'll see it here sitting offshore. Now, this system is expected to bring in some rain chances across the Pacific Northwest as early as late tomorrow, pushing into the start of Wednesday. Our system is likely to seep into Northern California. We may see this system push as far south as Central California. So some areas like San Luis Obispo may pick up a spot shower or two. But for the rest of us here across the LA and surrounding region, we are forecasting to remain on the drier side through this week. In fact, we're expecting to have a parade of high pressure systems that move in and really influence our weather pattern. That secondary system moving in at the bottom half of this week will warm our temperatures into the weekend. As far as what's happening right now across the Van Nuys area, we do have those mostly clear skies. Temperatures currently in the 60s, and we do have a fairly calm wind pushing out of the northeast. Outside of Van Nuys, the San Fernando Valley, we do have 55 in Burbank, Santa Monica at 58. San Bernardino, 48 degrees, but take a look across some of the Antelope Valley, pushing through Victorville and our mountains. Those temperatures are in the 20s as well as the 30s. Now, if you are in our high deserts, but also across our mountains, your temperatures moving into tonight will make their way below that freezing zone. So we are talking in the mid to upper 20s. A different story across our coast. We'll have some of those mid to upper 40s, and then most of the area should see our temperatures right around their averages. As we head into the remainder of this week, we talked about that high pressure system moving in. There it goes, reflected in the second half of our week. So Thursday moving into our weekend along the coast, you'll see those temperatures bumping up into the 30s. As far as LA and the inland Orange County area goes, we are going to see some more of those lower 70s, mid 70s by the middle of this week. And then as we also head into the end of this work week and into our weekend, we are projected to have our temperatures reaching the lower 80s as well. If you're in the valleys or the Inland Empire, you are likely to have those 80-degree temperatures come the end of this week as well. Back to you.
New egg in Big Bear Valley coming up. Jackie the Bald Eagle has laid her second egg of the season. This is the live cam. You know they have that cam 24/7. Before we head to the break, you look at this here. Looks like somebody is sleeping and keeping those babies warm. Those 2 eggs. We're celebrating that. Be right back. Tax refunds could be bigger this year for many Americans. The Treasury Department says households might see an average of $1,000 more. It's partly because some didn't adjust their withholdings after recent tax breaks. New law raises the standard deduction by $750 for individuals, doubles that for married couples. It also expands state and local tax deductions and offers a new benefit for some seniors. Tax season, oh yeah, it's officially underway. Happening tomorrow, Southwest Airlines is ending its 50-year-old open seating policy. Passengers will now choose their seats during booking or get one assigned at check-in. Seat options now include standard, preferred, and extra legroom. The airline's also shifting from the ABC groups with numbered positions model to a new boarding system using groups 1 through 8.
One last check-in on our 7-day forecast. If you were in the LA Inland Orange County area, we can expect some sunshine out there tomorrow. Temperatures will be still above their averages, coming in the low to mid 70s through the middle of this week. By the time we swing into the bottom half of our week and into our weekend, we are looking at high pressure moving in and warming our temperatures up to the low 80s across a big portion of the region, not just LA and the Inland Orange County area. We'll also see similar conditions across our valleys. Back to you.
Broadway's Big Night is set for June 7th. The Tony Awards return to Radio City Music Hall and will air live on CBS and Paramount Plus for premium subscribers. Essential plan users can catch the replay the next day. Nominees will be announced in May, but the host is still a mystery. This marks the final year of the Tony's current deal with CBS. Stay tuned for more updates as awards season heats up. The Westminster Dog Show celebrates 150 years with 3 nights of world-class competition. Fox Sports will broadcast the event live from Madison Square Garden and the Javits Center starting Saturday, January 31st. Coverage includes the Masters Agility Championship and ends with the Best in Show crowning on February 3rd. As the second longest running U.S. sporting event, highlights top canine talent, features Fox's well-known voices. Watch on Fox networks and digital platforms. Jackie the Bald Eagle is laid her second egg of the season in Big Bear Valley. It arrived just after 5 p.m. Friends of Big Bear Valley say bald eagles like Jackie practice delayed incubation, waiting to fully warm the eggs until the last one is laid. This helps the eaglets hatch closer together, improving their chances of survival. If Jackie does lay a third egg, could happen in a few days. Thanks for watching. The news at 10 on Fox 11 is next.